we are going to be questioning you today about the changes and preparations that we had to make in order for the students of Arcola to come back for this year. Okay, so what went into preparing in order to return to the 2021 school year?
Well, that's a very simple question, but the answer is very complex. So there were a lot of things that went into planning for this year. First of all, we had, guidelines provided to us by the Illinois State Board of Education and the Illinois Department of Public Health that we had to build into our plans in terms of following. So that was a huge part. The second part, we also had to provide families with choice on whether they were going to attend in person or they were going to attend remotely. So really, it was a matter of working through those guidelines and getting input from families about choice and trying to come up with a solution that fit for everybody. Now the guidelines, obviously there were a lot of guidelines in terms of face covering requirements, social distancing requirements, how we were going to handle like excluding kids who had COVID symptoms. So there were a lot of procedural things such as how we were going to do temperature and self-check. And as you know, we ended up choosing a sticker. And we really chose that because we felt that instead, some schools are actually having staff take temperature checks and ask kids if they have symptoms. But we really felt that families know their kids the best, so they know if it's seasonal allergies or if it might be something different. So the procedural things, but the hardest thing was really the schedule, So, we have, I think 35% of our elementary K through 5 kids that chose remote, and only about 20% grades 6 through 12. So the question was how, for junior high school kids and even grade 6, those kids are old enough to remote in to the classrooms, and that's what they're doing, and that's what you guys are going to be doing this afternoon, right? You're going to remote in. But you can't ask a kindergartner or a first grade kid to remote in, you know what I mean? So we had to come up with a plan on how our elementary teachers could also serve and meet the remote kids at home as well as the kids in person. We had all kinds of committees, the administrative team, myself and Mrs. Segrist and Mr. Lindsay and Mrs. Brunner and Mrs. Gentry literally were working nonstop to try and plan.
So what I'm hearing is a difficult process.
It was an extremely difficult process to come up with
something that works for everybody.
I really literally said it was like walking on a tightrope. And you're balancing all these things to try and stay on the tightrope. Is really what it was like.
Do you think that the students and staff are happy with how we're running it right now?
I do. I think it's gone really well. I don't think it's perfect for anybody, but I really believe it's the best solution for everybody. And we've actually made some adjustments. Like we were going to start with 2 afternoon online classes originally this week, and we thought, we listened to teachers and feedback from, the students were like, well, heck, we're not even hard. Some of the kids on the buses they're not even home till 1:15, and so we had to move times around, and so we've been making adjustments as we go. But I think what we've I've heard in other districts there's a lot of pushback from teachers and because they're being pushed too hard too fast. And we wanted to be really, explicit and move slowly and make sure everybody had the support they needed.
I think the outcome so far would be really good.
I do too. I think it's been really positive.
Yep. So talk to me about the placement outside with the tent and classes and
so that was one of the solutions we came up with. Actually, it was Ken, our head of maintenance, Ken Vogt. I think a lot of you guys know who Ken is. He had the idea of, hey, what do you think about coming up with some tents so we could take some breaks. The kids could go outside, take their masks off as long as they stay 6 feet apart. Elementary, they all take 10, 15-minute breaks. We also bought, it's kind of interesting, each elementary kid, they've got like a really padded seat. So if they go outside, instead of sitting on the grass, they got this padded seat, so just like all little innovative things like that. Like the little ones, one of the hardest things with little ones is, you're up and down and moving all over, got little groups, you're reading, and they couldn't really hardly move. So a lot of the little ones, they actually got, the kids have their own like little laundry basket they can sit in. So they can either be in their seat or they can be in their laundry basket, just to give them a chance to move. And so it was like trying to come up with little innovative things like that to give students and teachers a break, to help with having to wear the masks and those kinds of things.
While maintaining that safety protocol.
Yeah, exactly.
Lastly, do you think that as the year goes on, more and more of these protocols will change and will continue to?
Yeah, I think they'll continue to evolve. I think they've already gotten a lot easier. Once we start seeing more kids come back, though, we're going to have to adjust, the kids that are on remote. But, and then once, the big change is going to be when we do extend the day till 2 o'clock. It's going to be a big change because we're going to have procedures for lunch and, where you're going to sit. And, we'll probably, like for the high school, we'll have some kids in the cafeteria, we'll have some down in the old gym. And we're actually probably use the balconies in the gym because we got to, space kids apart as far as possible. And so I think we'll evolve as we go. It seems like things are going really well safely, and the students and the staff have all been amazing. Everybody understands things have to be different, but I think it's gone really well.
Yeah, I think both the staff and students are doing a really good job
I do too.
cooperating.
I do too. I think it's been amazing. It's been really amazing.
Okay, well,